Hello, welcome back to another pen talk. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be back continuing on a subject that we've been on for over a year now. Here we have your ubiquitous frosted plastic case. On the back we see some information. It might give us a little hint as to what's inside this case. I like the fact that this is unsuitable for children under 3 years of age. So let's take a look at this. Pops up, and we see a Smurfs pen. A number of my viewers have recommended that I take a look at this pen, so I figured I would. You know, I wasn't totally enthralled with the shape, but this is an interesting acrylic. You don't have that chatoyancy or that interesting depth of color that you might get, but this is like that cracked ice design, which is very common on some vintage pens, Conway Stewart's in particular. So let's look at a modern version of it. Yeah, it's an unscrew cap. It's less than about a turn and a half. And we have our classic Delike nib here. And it's a little bit of a bent nib. So here's the eBay auction. I enjoy these Delike bent nibs, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Nice that the section, again, is the same material as the pen. The pen does post, not deeply, but fairly securely. You know, it fits okay in the hand without posting, but it posts okay. There's some literature underneath of this nice firm foam insert. Shows you some filling instructions, which are always nice. So some of you that have watched my videos may say, well, it looks kind of like the Pen BBS 308 that we have in jade, but no, it is a different design, different color. It says a little bit more green in it. You know, could be called the turquoise family. This is also in the turquoise family, but more of a blue. And you may say that it kind of resembles the 323 Pen BBS, and it does because of this shape here, which is concave and kind of representative of the shape of the cap, but it's just not the same. And as you can see, these pens are much different size. The Smurfs pen is definitely the smaller of this group. So posted, they take on another quite different viewpoint. The 323 is not designed to post. This cap doesn't fit on the end of the barrel at all. The length of the Smurfs pen now comes up a little bit closer to that of the 308, which I think is one of the best sized pens around. As you come down to the section area, again, which is nice, all these three pens have the same material in the section that's in the barrel. But the Pen BBS's have your number 6 nib, and this definitely has your Delike, which is closer to a number 5 nib. Also has a much smaller section in it. So this pen is certainly not for those people that like larger pens. Now let's take a look at how the bent nib writes. It's a classic unscrew. You have your converter, and this is that normal Delike converter. Not some of the newer ones have kind of more of a design like the platinum one. Yeah, it just pulls out. Nice metal piece here at the end with a little insert that makes it a little bit softer. So that's a nice sturdy, when you push it in, connection. This just unscrews, so it's easy to take apart if you need to. So as many of you know, I like to flush all new pens. And also it's a good way of cleaning a pen when you're changing ink. So you may remember this blue syringe bulb that I had from before where I questioned its use. Well, here's where it comes in handy. It fits well on this nib assembly, and these are all the nib assemblies that Delike uses, Jinhao uses, Pen BBS uses. So you can dip it in your solution. You know, those bubbles are coming out more around the outside, but you know, that's not filling very quickly, which is one of the things that You know, I like that red bulb from Radio Shack because it just works better with everything. Now let's take a look at the flow. Yeah, it's a decent flow. I wouldn't call it a gusher. So that's your rinse cycle, and that's your soap cycle, and then next we're going to rinse in water and then be ready to ink. Well, there's always that great question, what ink? So this is an ink I don't think I've done in a pen video before. I've had it for a while. This ink is very popular with a lot of people. It's a great turquoise color. It was certainly one of the hits of my turquoise ink video. And there's not a lot left, but we're going to do our best to try to suck it up. It's one of the challenges with converters is you need to get that converter in there so it does take up the ink. We're going to do my, 3 times back and forth. And we got a decent fill there, as you can see. The pen comes in 4 colors. Here's the colors. So I think this is the nicest color of the 4 from my perspective. It's a very personal decision. It's been inked up. It's ready to go. Definitely would write with this posted versus unposted. It's not a big pen, as I mentioned. That section's pretty small. We'll give you those dimensions. The nib, I smoothed it a little bit, just my normal smoothing. It definitely made the writing experience more enjoyable and smoother. I mean, the reason why I like these Delike bent nibs is it's more of a medium to broad line, because the extra fines are very, very fine. And if you want a really fine line, it does write in reverse. The other thing that you find about these, if you get the right angle, you can really easily lay down a nice patch of ink. Dries pretty quickly, so it's as we found from the flushing with the bulb, this is not a gusher. It's a medium wet pen. So those of you that are interested in the pen, hopefully this has been helpful in trying to determine if this is a pen you want to add to your collection. So now we come to the rating. I may regret the fact that I started doing this, but we're going to give it a 5. So I can't really rate it any higher. I don't find anything particularly good about the pen. I mean, it's, the Chinese market is really elevated its level of quality and design and uniqueness, and there's nothing unique about this. It's just a pen. But, if this is something that appeals to you, then it's probably an 8 or a 9, but to me, based on my experience in putting this in perspective, it's a 5. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful, enjoyable, entertaining, interesting. So may you have many great writing experiences. Who knows what the future holds for you in the wonderful world of pens, inks, nibs, papers, whatever. Till we get together again, bye.